Yeah, Bill, we were told that if we didn't transition kids, we had blood on our hands. And now we're finding out that it's actually the reverse, that we should actually be not doing any of this. What do you think?
I like girls.
So, does that mean you want more boys to transition to girls?
No, you're confusing him with Jim.
No, I mean, I was talking about this on my show last week. I mean, we are the outlier now, the United States. It's so funny the way sometimes the woke stuff, you know, and I always try to make this point that liberalism is not, you know, the same thing as woke. Woke, they would like to think they're an extension of liberalism. I'm an old school liberal. They're not. It's very often the opposite. And they think they're going so far in the right direction, and it actually turns out that they're in the wrong direction. And they've actually reversed it, because most of the countries in Europe now, England, the Scandinavian countries, the ones we used to always be able to say, well, look what the liberal countries are doing. They're all reversed themselves on this. They don't do the puberty blockers anymore. They don't do this stuff because of studies like this. And America is just doubling down on this stuff. So we are the outlier country on this stuff. And look, there's always a sensible middle ground. That's what I'm always trying to find. Now, is there such a thing as trans? Of course. There are sometimes people who are, let's just say, there's a mix-up at the factory. And you don't feel in your head the way you do in your body. But some of this is also just a TikTok challenge that got out of hand.
What's going on, everyone? Starts with Kenny here today. I want to kind of give a breakdown about, you know, Bill Maher's comments recently about, you know, I guess he has a book he's promoting, and, you know, he had a clip with, I forgot his name, Greg Gutfeld, sorry. Bill Maher just roasted the woke mafia. Liberal is not the same thing as woke. Well, it may not be the same thing, Bill Maher, but this is the problem that I pointed out about liberalism, is that liberals throughout political history, but based on my limited life experience in this world, liberals condone a lot of things from their own sides because they hate the conservatives more. As much as the radical woke people, progressives, have pushed us into a deep end, the conservatives are always worried about the slippery slope, right? Liberals love to make fun of conservatives. Oh, you exaggerating the problem. Oh, you worrying about things that'll never happen. And hold and behold, look what happened. Because the conservatives are always cautious about these new ideas. The conservatives are always cautious about the slippery slope. So in a way, conservatives are more forward thinking about how the ideas and concepts that the trends like to push could make a negative detriment or a negative impact on our society and in our culture, right? And I have one clip that validates this worldview that I have, that I remember seeing this video 4 years ago.
Say that men can menstruate is a lie, and that is what is said.
Wait, where did that?
You've never heard it, right? Okay, check it out. Anyone who says a man cannot menstruate is considered transphobic.
I missed this whole story.
You did?
I did. Tell me where are you getting this?
Just Google it. Can men menstruate?
Who is saying this? You're talking about a very small percentage.
Oh, really?
Dennis, I remember you in the old show. You were a little more reasonable.
What did I say that wasn't unreasonable?
You said that we think that men menstruate, and no one does. We never even. Had you heard about it?
I'm a doctor. I missed that one, I confess.
And this is one of the premier reporters. I mean, he knows everything. These people are very. He's a doctor.
Okay.
He's one of the
I would make a friendly bet that the LGBTQ normative statement is men can menstruate.
The arrogance of the liberal, right? All cocky, all hubris. Oh, I remember he was a little bit more reasonable. Why liberals can't just admit, hey, I didn't know that? Or where are you getting this? Oh, you're getting this from? He was in disbelief, thinking that he made it up. Oh, no, look at this kooky conservative. And now 5 years later, he's seen the problem. But now it's too late. Look, the problem's out for it. They already got... It's until you wait for it to get so bad, that's when you want to recognize, oh, man, maybe the conservatives had the right on this one. And this is the problem. To me, liberalism is complicit in the way that wokeness got it together, because wokeness could have got nipped in the bud, if conservatives and liberals actually was consistent and called it out together, right? Conservatives was constantly calling this out. Conservatives was on the lookout for this, not liberals though. Liberals have this tendency to play tribal politics. Oh, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a good guy. But when challenged on it, this is Bill Maher, by the way, when challenged on it, oh, why you like Gavin? What did Gavin did that makes you on his guy? He's a nice guy. And it's California, man. He blamed everyone but Gavin Newsom. Oh, God, oh, it's California. There's Looney Tunes here. He has to be a little bit more extreme to win here. If he runs nationally, he'll be more center. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Bill Maher. I think that's a lot of wishful thinking on your part, Bill Maher. And this is the problem that I see with liberalism, that they're very tribal people. They have this almost hubris smugness about them, right? And maybe that's just me, my little biases about liberals. But they come across very condescending, very smug. You see, look at 2019. Look at him. Now, 2024, he's sitting with Greg Gutfeld, talking about the lunacy of the left. Wow. How the chickens have come home to roost. This is like someone needs to show Bill Maher that video, and I need to hear his reaction to that. He need to sit down with Dennis Prager again on his show, the podcast he has, and they need to talk about that instance. I think they did. I probably missed that clip, but they exposed this. Like, liberalism has to take accountability for why the wokeness got so bad. Because when conservatives criticize wokeness, liberals are right there defending it, saying, oh, it's only a small percentage of them. This is not real. This is you making a mountain out of a molehill. This is the liberal logic. Liberals kept turning a blind eye to it, putting a blind eye to it, and these people instilling themselves in power, right? Any little instances, they use it to dramatize events, right? 45 people shot in Chicago this weekend. The media don't care about black lives. They only care about black lives that can be used to demonize white people and further inflame racial tensions, right? These radicals wait for moments like this and use it. See, this is why we need social justice. But look at the instance. What's more probable? What happens more probably? Black on black crime. Black on black crime is more rampant than white on black crime. But what the media has you focus on, what the media has you on, liberals turn a blind eye to this. Liberals don't come out and support conservatives and say, hey, conservatives, you're right on this. That's why I don't believe his little stitch in the intro where he said, oh, I just want to find the common ground. 2019 to me, that's the real Bill Maher. When Dennis Prager was trying to tell you, hey, look, you didn't believe it. You just deny. I took the jab for the team. Remember, Bill Maher? You said that, Bill Maher. Right? He has Trump derangement syndrome. He can't see the forest from the trees. Look at this is New York. What the hell's going on in New York? Who knows? Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson picks an activist to serve on the RTA board who has literally zero transit knowledge. Reverend Aker said that he never discussed transportation plans with the mayor. When asked about his plans for the 730 million RTA budget shortfall, I guess this is what he has to say. But liberals used to be the people who defend, hey, I don't want to judge people on the color of their skin. If you're more qualified, you should get the job. We shouldn't be hiring people with no expertise in the field just because he's close to the mayor. Where's the liberals calling that out? And the problem is liberals don't pay attention to their own side. They have this false belief that there's no radicals on their side, that everyone on their side is reasonable. They think they're so, and this is another thing about liberalism that also catch them off guard too, is that they have this idea that they're not misinformed, right? They're more knowledgeable. Oh, if you're a smart person, you'll be a liberal. That's the kind of bravado liberals walk around with. I'm just saying. When I was a centrist, that's when I noticed that liberals walk with this idea that, oh, we're centrist. Oh, we're not biased. We call it out as it is. Let's use Google, for instance. 13,000 employees donated to the Democratic Party and only 368 donated to the Republican Party. You saw what happened with Gemini, the image generator for Google. What it did, it presented a warped perspective on history because of the political domination of one ideology. Conservatives call that out. Hey, a lot of your journalists are liberals. Oh, that don't mean anything. Just because liberals are biased, we do our job. We do our jobs correctly. There's no bias. We call it down the middle. We call it as it is. We're consistent. We're objective. This fake objectivism that liberals like to pretend that they have. Liberals walk around with this perceived credibility, right? When when Congresswomen, Cori Bush was talking about how police killing black people is responsible for 50 million additional days of poor mental health per day. Where were the liberals to call this out? But you want to disassociate yourself from the woke. Oh, now it got too bad for you? Now everyone who's non-Democrat sees this as lunacy, and now you come around, you're like, oh, I see why you guys pushing it now. I see why you guys pushing back against it now. Now you want to speak out when it's almost too late. To me, it's never too late to call it out, but still, you were warned about this, and it's a typical liberal fashion. Conservatives will bring up a point, liberals will minimize it, downplay it, outright ignore it, shame you, call you names, call you conspiracy theories, call you a loony. Oh, you were exaggerating the problem. Couple years go by, conservatives get vindicated, and then the liberal has two choices: either pretend that he never went along with it, or acknowledge it after it's already happened, after he already suffers the negative consequences. When you could have avoided the whole thing if you just listened to the conservative and be like, hey, yeah, that shouldn't be right. Let's criticize this. Let's not let this get mainstream. TikTok's trends that went out of control. Well, I just show you big tech. Big tech is overwhelmingly Democrat, right? If I take the trends, though, Apple, Meta, social media, what's the probability that TikTok engineers are also overwhelmingly liberal Democrats? But when conservatives point this out, oh no, it's not a non-problem. When conservatives like me point out, hey, experts of political misinformation lean heavily to the left. Same way that Google employees lean heavily to the left, Apple employees lean heavily to the left, Meta employees lean heavily to the left. And we're saying, hey, misinformation, disinformation, it seems like a ploy of people using their political positions, their positions of authority to espouse political beliefs and use it for their political ends. Oh, you exaggerate. Come on, these guys are professionals. They wouldn't compromise themselves. Look at Google Gemini and how they painted history in diversity, diverse Nazis. George Washington was a black man, according to Google's Gemini AI, and everyone went down on. And then when everyone outraged about it to Google, Google was like, "Oh my God, we made this by mistake." Of course, look who was managing. Look what your product manager. Look who was managing it. A bunch of leftists, and they thought they were being objective. They thought they were being data driven. They thought they were being accurate. And look how skewed. Look how tampered with ideology Google Gemini end up being. And then you expect me to sit back and believe that an institution that's overwhelmingly dominated by one political side, I'm not going to think their bias is going to creep into their work, into their product, into their services that they give? You got to be out of your goddamn mind, Bill Maher. But hey, I'm happy you came around, but I'm not going to give you too much credit about it, because it seemed like liberals have to wait until everything's on fire to recognize the conservatives' point, because they dislike the conservatives so much that they wouldn't come together with them to push out the far left. They let the far left riot, make excuses. Oh, it's a peaceful but fiery protest. But January 6th want to come out and condemn and act all self-righteous about it, when they literally let a whole entire year go by letting their people of their side do whatever the hell they want. Treating the far left like a spoiled child. And now the chickens come home to roost. Now they're pushing you out of your party to the point where you're forced to go with conservatives. A lot of liberals, right? Liberals, old school liberals like Bill Maher, are politically homeless right now, because their party got taken over by progressives, by Marxists, by radicals. And now they wear liberals, as a skin suit. A millennial liberal is really an old school progressive. Now you got liberals coming into the conservative movement, trying to take over conservative movement. Oh no, y'all a little too extreme here. Oh, you're the far right now. Oh, Tucker Carlson's far right now. Now you got liberals coming into conservative movements, conservative circles, trying to dictate what is conservatism. And conservatives ain't having it. Conservatives like, y'all not about to come over here in the Republican Party, liberalize us, and then wear conservatism as a skin suit. Now there's infighting. Now everyone's complaining about big tent conservatism. And the reason why many people are complaining about big tent conservatism is because conservatives are not principled right now. At least they're not the Republican Party. And I believe big tent conservatism can work if it's based in nationalism, because that's one thing that's really tying all of us together with the liberals and all the non-wokes, is the fact that we want the best for this country, and we know this country cannot stand being divided by our identities, by these radical ideas that are not based in reality, the skewed perception of these authoritarians on the political Democratic Party that's been taking over, and they're trying to bring socialism in, the Bernie Sanders type, the Democratic Socialist type. We know this is not good for America. And I think that's the only way big tent conservatism can work. But I digress. I'm at least happy that Bill Maher is actually calling out the woke mafia, right? I'm happy to have his voice. I'm happy that, they're finally coming around. It's better late than never, right? But I digress. Let me know your thoughts about the Bill Maher's commentary on it. Do you agree with it? Did you find it funny? What you think? Do you think he has ulterior motives? Maybe you just want to sell his book. Who knows what Bill Maher was there for? But at least I appreciate him speaking out against wokeness. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.